Hi guys, it's been a while since I've been on YouTube, but I'm back again just for a little bit, just going to be sharing to you guys what I've been up to, and just sharing a little bit about what Jesus expects of us as his children, you know. Just recently, for the past few months, God's been getting me out there on the streets proclaiming the gospel, literally going out there witnessing to people. And just, evangelizing, so to speak, to all creation that I come across, on the streets. And as it says in his word, as it says in Matthew, we should all be going out there preaching and proclaiming the gospel to all creation. We should all be doing it. And that's not a suggestion, that's a commandment. Whether or not God's, commanding you, well, he'll be prompting you. I don't know if he's prompting you yet as a young Christian. I don't know if he's prompting you yet to go out there and proclaim the gospel. But if you know Jesus and if you know the truth, you'll be horrified for the people out there on the streets, because you know that without Jesus, they're going to go to hell. Without having their soul washed clean, they're going to go to hell. Because no one is good enough to get to heaven. We're all filthy sinners, Our flesh and our soul is filthy. But when God comes and rescues us, once we see all the filth and muck and mire and realise that we can't save ourselves, that we're in trouble on Judgment Day, that the wages of sin is death, that if we died today in our filth and sins and our debt hasn't been paid, we're going to have to pay the debt ourselves. But if we realise that we can't save ourselves, we need someone to save us, such as God Almighty himself, incarnated in the flesh, as Jesus Christ, because God is the only one without sin. No mere man can ever save another mere man, because they're both sinful. Only God can save. He's mighty to save. He paid the penalty for us. Basically, he saved us from himself. He saved us from his own wrath in the coming day of judgment, because he loves us so much. And those who believe and proclaim the name of the Jesus shall be saved. So my question to you Christians out there who aren't witnessing, to friends who are waiting for the perfect time, it's not going to be easy. There's no perfect time, because it's never easy. It never is easy, When would be the perfect time? Because you don't know when people are going to die. Because it could be tomorrow, it could be right, in the next hour or something. Christian, get off your butt and proclaim the gospel, because there's never going to be a right time, Even on the streets, it is still hard, Jesus said it was never going to be easy following him. Taking up your cross and denying yourself daily. Guys, come on. If you truly know Jesus, you'll truly know what he expects of us, because you'll be in his word. You'll be reading his word daily, because you want to. Because you want to know what he wants you to do. Do you know what I mean? What his will is for us to do. And that is share the gospel to people, to all creation, And that was a big conviction. He convicted me, or prompted me to get off my butt and not just proclaim it to my friends, but now to proclaim it to others that I don't know, that he wanted to reach out to. Because he uses men to reach out to other men, to proclaim the gospel, If he's prompting you to do it, pray. Get on your face and pray and ask him to help you. It was funny, because when I got prompted, I went to him and said, "Oh, if it's really your will, if you want me to evangelize, I want you to send me people that I can evangelize with." Bam! The next day, it was done. I can't explain what happened, but he answered my prayers, and here I am, going out there on the street. He is faithful and true. He is faithful and true. It wasn't a selfish prayer. That's why he answered it. Because it was selfless. He answers a lot of selfless prayers. He doesn't answer selfish prayers. Most of the time, He'll answer, some of your prayers, but he's not going to answer all of your prayers, especially the selfish ones. And it will be in his own timing anyway, not yours. But guys, listen to that prompting and get off your seats and do something for God, it's not easy, as I said, it's not easy preaching to people on the streets. You'll have your arrogant people, like I had a couple. I had one the other day that was extremely a bratty child, she thought she knew everything, she just, the last thing that she said was, "It's a big wide world out there, honey." And you know what I was thinking? I didn't want to say anything, I didn't want to get into a fight, but I was thinking, yeah, it's a big, wide highway to hell, but the road is narrow. I wanted to say that to her, but I just felt, don't, just leave her. Her family are Christians. She's been born to a Christian family, but she's rebelled, obviously. And obviously God, He uses people like you and me to reach those people who's in a Christian family anyway, but who are out in the streets. But we're like vessels for God to warn them again. Do you know what I mean? See what I'm getting at? And He'll use us that way as well. And it's funny, you get some people, you convict them of their sin, and you go, "Well, you a good enough person to get to heaven?" They go, "Yeah, I'm good enough to get to heaven." And as soon as you convict them of lying, stealing, fornicating, adultery, disobeying their parents, even breaking one of the 10 Commandments, it's funny how people change their opinion. They're not going to change the truth. They change their thoughts, but they're not going to change the truth. I had a young guy the other day. I was convicting him because I was asking him, "Are you good enough to go to heaven?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm good enough, His friend was more humble. He's like, "No, I don't think I am." You get different people, guys. It's a good experience, but he's like, "No, I'm good enough to go to heaven." And I said, "Oh, well, have you kept the 10 Commandments? We'll go through them." And then I said, "Oh, well, if God was to judge you by those standards which I've just told you and we've just gone through, would you be innocent and guilty?" And he goes, "Oh, no, actually, I believe in reincarnation now." It's funny how people don't want to, it's like as soon as they're convicted, they're like, "Oh, no, because I'm good enough, I'm just going to pretend, But the thing is, if I was to jump off a building and I believe that I could fly with all my heart, I'm going to be able to fly, but the law of gravity would hold me down. I believe I'm going to fly. If someone told me, no, but the law of gravity's there, it's like a rebellious kind of thing. It's not going to change the fact that the gravity's there. It's not going to, it's the same with the eternity. It's funny how people just try and change the laws of nature and the laws of eternity. How can I explain it? But it's like that, eternity is a bit different. Like they think illogical for some reason. They think logically about everything else, but when it comes to eternity, they think illogical. And they think that because they believe in something, it's going to happen. But no, it's not going to happen. There's always an absolute truth to everything. 1 + 1 is 2. It's always going to be 2. Gravity is always going to be there. If you jump off a building, you think you can fly with all your heart, you really believe that you think you're going to fly. It's not going to change the law of gravity. It's not going to change the absolute truth. And the absolute truth, when we die, we are going to be faced with God face to face. And that is not going to change no matter what we believe. We can keep running away from Him, but all we're doing is condemning ourselves when we could have had forgiveness. Guys, don't gamble your soul. People out there who aren't Christians, don't gamble your soul away. Why be illogical all of a sudden with the eternity when, you shouldn't be illogical. You should be like soberly thinking about dying, what's going to happen to you when you die, because 10 out of 10 people die. The inevitable is going to happen to everyone, no matter what we think. And I think I had someone the other day go, "Oh, I said everyone's going to die," and they're like, no, I don't think so. I'm like, "That's the day you said that." I didn't clearly get what he said, but that's what I thought I heard him say, that, "Oh, no, I don't believe in death." That was, people are insane. It's almost as if we've got a sickness or something about dying or in the eternity. Guys, I know that some of you guys are angry at God, but God, He loves us so much. Even in our anger towards Him, even in our sin towards Him, He died for us, us sinners, you and me. I'm not good enough to go to heaven. I need to be washed clean. So do you. So does everyone else. You know, it's a sober thing to think about. You go think about these things. And Christian, if you're not going out there proclaiming the gospel and the good news, when you've got it, if you've got the good news already, you should be sharing it, you know, to no matter who it is. But, you know, ask God who you should share it to, and he'll be faithful and true, and he'll show you who he wants you to share it to. It's usually going to be all creation, but in the beginning, when you first learn to share your faith, it will probably be with friends and family, but be ready for persecution, mentally, emotionally, and if you're somewhere out in a different culture, then be prepared for persecution physically. But the fear of man, you know, we should be fearing God who can kill both body and soul. Don't fear man who can just kill the body. It's talking to you, young Christian out there, that is fearing man killing the body. We should be. It is still a fearful thing, yeah, but we should be more fearful of God, who can kill both body and soul. Hope I've helped some of you out there. Just go ahead and do what Jesus wants you to do. Be his hands and feet. Be a light to the darkness of this world. Be a lamp and go out into the darkness, because the dark will never come into our church. They'll always run away. If they're not going to come into the church, temple, we're going to have to go be a light to the dark. We're going to have to go out there, you know, and proclaim the good news, so at least someone gets saved, you know. Even if you're witnessing to 30 people that day, it's not a waste of time, because you're always going to, God's word's never void, and you'll always reach at least someone. And they'll always, you know, even if they fight you, they'll probably go home that night when they're alone, and they'll be thinking. Their conscience, everyone's conscience will bear witness to them, no matter what they think. No matter if they like it or not, it will always bear witness and bring them guilt. It will always bear witness, that's what it means, you know. Alright, no worries. Cheers guys, I hope I've been a help. Thanks.